Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to do a sculpting video, and this will be for my new Raven sculpt. That will be a new doll that will be available soon. I thought it was a good time because it is Halloween, so I'm going to go through how I sculpted the pieces. So firstly, I like to sculpt my pieces using monster clay, and monster clay is a wax-based clay, so it won't go hard and you can reuse it, which is great when you're just casting things in resin, so you can just melt it down when you've made the mold. And I have a little video about monster clay in my Materials 101 playlist, so if you want to know more, head to that playlist and have a look at that video. So what I've done is I've just got some monster clay set to the side, which is being melted in the microwave, not to a runny consistency, but a malleable one, so it is pretty soft. And what I've done is I'm just sort of basically roughing out how I want the head to look like. So I've put in some glass eyes, so this way I'll be able to cast them in glass eyes as well. So what I'm working on now is the beak area, and again just roughing it out a bit, so building up layers where I think there needs to be more clay and subtracting where I think it needs to be removed, and also just working on the size of the head and how big I actually want the doll to be. So I kind of wanted it life size, and a good tip is to always have reference photos near you of all different angles of your creature that you want to make. It helps me a lot, and also just have a little study of the anatomy of some creatures as well, because that always helps where the muscles go. So I was pretty unhappy with the way the beak looks, so when you're unhappy with it, sometimes you just need to rip it off and start again. So that's what I did here. I just wasn't happy with it and I didn't want to try and save it again, so I just sort of started again. And you know, sometimes you just need to do that when you're sculpting things, because there's no point chasing around an endless thing, something that's not working. There's no point in doing that. So sometimes just start again and you'll be much happier with the result. So again, learning from what I did wrong the last time, I sculpted the beak again, made it a bit shorter and widened out the back end of the beak as well, and just took a little bit more care with what I was doing and how I was sculpting it and how it was looking on the entire doll itself. So, and also going back to my reference photos and comparing the size of my head and proportions and everything. So I was definitely much happier with the way this beak was turning out and the way it looked on the head, even just in this bit. So before I just went ahead and stuck the top of the beak on, I wanted to refine the bottom half first and make sure that the top half actually looked like it was meant to be there and fit nicely in between, in the little join where the mouth area is. It sort of goes in a little bit. If you look at a crow's or a raven's beak, it goes in. So I wanted to achieve that before I went and stuck the top half of the beak on, because then you can't really get in there as well as you can with the beak off. So yeah, I just carved that out beforehand. And this is another reason why I really like to use monster clay, is because when it is malleable, you can just sort of work that clay back with ease, especially if you have weak hands or you know, arthritis or something. Monster clay is super soft when you melt it to the right consistency, so I like working with soft things. I don't really like working with hard, you know, sculpty type things, especially sculpty firm. I find it way too hard, and I don't do a huge amount of subtractive detailed carving, so it's not really suitable for me, but maybe in the future I'll learn how to use it. But I just find sculpty firm to be way too hard for my hands, and I just really like working with monster clay. And I'm going to be doing a bit of refining on the beak before I move on to anything else. And I have a little loop tool that I got from Barnes here in Australia, but you can find them in any specialty crafting art stores, and you can even make your own. So I plan to make a few more of these as well. moving on to just refining the top of the beak. So as you can see, it is way too thick and curved for a raven. So I'm just going in with my loop tool and just carving out some sections of that beak itself and just sort of refining it a bit more so it looks more like a raven beak. And I'll be adding some more clay to the top of the beak. As you can see, it's too far in, so it needs some more clay to be added, but I'm going to achieve a nice round beak in a nice shape on the beak before I do that. Alright, so I decided that the side of the beak needs to be a bit more volume in it. So what I did is just added a tiny bit of clay, and you can just add, you don't have to add big bits, you don't have to add small bits. You can work it piece by piece. But I thought the sides needed to be a little more volume to it, so I just added a little more. Alright, now working on the lower portion of the beak, and I thought the beak needed to be more sort of angular around the bottom area, and it needed to have a bit more definition of where the beak actually starts. So I just added a hunk of clay there and then just sort of subtractive carved it out and refined it a bit more to look a bit more like a raven's beak. And you can see it coming together, how it comes together. You just map it out first and then refine it, add, subtract some clay where you need to, and it'll all come together. And now I can start refining the top of the beak, so just adding a little more, few strips of clay and working it into that top beak, just remembering that you don't want to cover up the lip area because then it will just look like a triangle and not a beak. So I always go back and to refine that area in between the two sides of the beak and to make sure I still have that curved edge as well. Now that I'm happy with the way the beak looks, I can start working on the eye area. And as with a lot of my dolls, I work with little sausages and little worms and just create eyelids using little worms. And I like to start with the end of the worm to be a little bit more tapered and pinched, and that way I can shove it into the corner of the glass eye and it would look more like an eyelid. And then I can just refine the top end of that worm and work it back into the face itself. So you can see how the eyes change here. And now I can just start working back the top of those worms and just working it into the top of the clay. This particular clay was a little harder right now, so it's not as easy to work that clay back into itself. So if you need it to be a bit softer, just hit it with a heat gun very, very quickly and very, very lightly, and then it will soften up that clay and you can work it back into itself if you don't like working with clay this hard. And I thought my raven needed a bigger head up the top, so I'm just adding a lot more clay and working it into the back of the head. And pretty happy with the way the shape of the head is looking, but I wanted the face to be a bit angrier looking. So what I did was I added a bit more clay around the brow area, and I just played with little worm pieces, and you can see how adding different bits of clay and making it a different shape and a different angle gives your creature a different kind of expression. So I'm starting off with a small piece of clay here, and I wanted it an angry look, so I gave it a bit more of an angle and overhang over the glass eye, and it makes it just look a bit more angrier. But if you put it the other way, it'll make it a bit more worried or a bit more innocent. So just have a play around with expressions with clay, and you'll find a good spot that you like. So now what I want to do is add those little feathers that you see on top of the beak of a raven. So what I've done is I've rolled out a thin piece of monster clay, and I'm just shaping it around the top of the beak and trimming it where I need it to be trimmed. So now what I'm going to do is use my needle tool, and I'm going to actually carve out these feathered look. So I'm digging my needle tool in pretty heavily here, and what it does is creates little textures in the fur that kind of look like those feathers you see on a raven, which is perfect. It's exactly how I wanted. So if you don't want to add fur to the beak, you can do it in this way and you'll get a nice little texture on the beak. And the same deal for the bottom of the beak, but this time it doesn't really go all the way across, so you just want to be mindful where those feathers are. So again, double check your reference pictures of your creature and make sure you have the right textures in the right places. And then again, just going over the entire sculpt with my Reiki tool thing, and that way I can refine the doll even more. But remember, I'm going to be covering this with mostly fur, so you don't need to be too meticulous about dolls that you're making into an art doll that is going to be covered with fur. So it's a different story if you're actually doing a sculpture and that's your final sculpture. So that is it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any video requests, you can leave it in the comments down below. You can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Creatures of Nat, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!